Welcome to this video series on key capabilities of the Kaleido Information Engine. In this installment, we will introduce you to Kaleido's highly automated loading capabilities and demonstrate how data integration tasks are accelerated in the Agile Data Warehouse. First, we start with a business model that encompasses many of the business rules used for analyzing sales. Let's focus on the product components in the upper left part of the screen. And let's use this model to create a job to populate both product group and product category in one load. This model has everything we need to get started. Based on this model, Kaleido has created staging tables for both product group and product category, as well as the reporting schema. A warehouse professional who understands both the model and the source data will create a load control job here in the DIW Explorer. All he needs to do is run a wizard to map the source tables to the model, and Kaleido will do the rest. Let's open the wizard and start creating our load control job. Let's name the job appropriately. In this case, we are starting with product group, so let's call it that. You'll notice a few options here. Using the extract only option, Kaleido can stage data to tables. For instance, if you want to convert a delimited file to a table. In this case, we want to populate master data, so choose the Class of Business Entity option and select Product Group. We could also load transactions into the system using the Transaction Dataset option, or even load transactions and master data in the same job. On the Options tab, we give you granular control over what happens in a given load, but for now, let's keep the default of Add and Modify. Under Source Type, let's choose ODBC to retrieve data from a remote database. We could also load from delimited files, FTP sources, or direct database links. To make things simple, we'll use the prototype to build file definition so we have a source template displayed for us. After clicking that option, we can select a predefined ODBC source named DM1 and connect to it. Once we connect, we can either preview and select the tables or views from that source, or go one step further and use Kaleido's Query Builder to select the data we need. Let's use that option. The wizard displays the tables, views, and stored procedures available from the ODBC connection. You can grab the tables you want and drag them into the middle. Let's grab the product group table. Then select the attributes you want to use. In this case, we'll use the product group name, the product group code, and the product category code. Notice if we press the Refresh SQL button at the bottom, Kaleido writes the required SQL for us. If you already have the SQL or find it easier to type it in, Kaleido allows you to do so. SQL is one thing, but we want to know exactly what the records will look like when they are returned, and Kaleido lets you preview this data by clicking on the Query Results tab. This looks good. The last step we need to do is actually map the fields from source to the target. And we do that on the Fields Mapping panel, which we can expand clicking this little button on the side. All the fields that need to be mapped will have small blue question marks beside them on the left side of the screen. In this case, we need to load two levels of the hierarchy at the same time. To do that, we need to use one of the transforms at the bottom of the screen. We'll use the Create BE to signal that Kaleido needs to be able to create new product categories at the same time it's associating them to product groups. And we'll also go ahead and map the fields, mapping the product group fields, the product category fields, and the effective dates for category and product group. We'll minimize this, continue, and then finalize our load control definition. That's it. The job is ready to be scheduled, or in this case, we can kick it off immediately. This immediately schedules and runs the job. You can monitor your submissions in the Task Monitor tab. After a few seconds, the job completes. If everything worked correctly and all data loads, we'll get a green check mark. However, in this case, we have an amber light. What went wrong? We could right-click on the job entry with the warning to find out. Kaleido transfers the log directly to our client. We can clearly see that we successfully loaded 10 product category and 23 product group records, but one product group record was rejected. To see why, Kaleido has a powerful and easy-to-use suspense processing utility. Let's take a look. We can see that for one product group record, streaming services, there was a null code value for the product category with corresponding name, streaming services. It might have been okay to have a null value, except if you recall our product model, product category was a mandatory relationship. So this is the data quality issue we need to resolve. We can do this in a number of ways. The Kaleido MDM product could be used to send this data to a data steward to fix via a defined workflow in a way that is completely auditable. Or a change control could be raised to the owner of the source system. Kaleido helps maintain an agile data warehouse by automating data integration tasks which otherwise would be manually constructed and maintained in ETL tools. As a result, Kaleido customers realize faster time to value, easier maintenance, and greater agility in responding to initial data warehouse demands, as well as keeping those warehouses up to date as the business and its analytical requirements evolve.